Hello, my name is Matthew, and last night I read The Little Gypsy Girl by Cervantes. I wanted to read something Spanish, and this is a fantastic short story. I'll show you the cover, it's great. Little Gypsy Girl. And I'm so blown away, so impressed by how great this story is. Every time I read Cervantes, I just it's hard to imagine that it's so good. Don Quixote is so good. The title of this is Exemplary Stories, and that's even an understatement by how much I love all these stories. And Cervantes was writing at a time that novels didn't really exist in the form that we have them today. Same thing for short stories in a way, and he uses that unknowingly so much to his advantage. These short stories, The Little Gypsy Girl, is it's fantastically told, but it's experimental, and he's not has no awareness of all of the trappings and certain things that a short story reader might have um, expected of. And so we get poetry. There's ballads and incantations and poetries and whole digressive side stories that are just within a short story, and all of these pieces are working so well because the ethereal voice is holding the whole thing together and is controlled and contained. And Cervantes just has the talent and confidence to keep everything moving in a perfectly. It's just perfect. And we meet Preciosa, who is a little gypsy girl. She's 15 years old, and she sings out in the street. She sings these poems and ballads, and she dances. Everybody thinks she's the most beautiful girl that anyone has ever seen. And she has these callers. People on the street just come running up to her and offer her money and offer her poems and ask to have her at their house so she can be beautiful and dance and read beautiful poetry and read and give fortunes. She's a palm reader. And this little gypsy girl, aside from her well known and obvious and tremendous uh, beauty that is taking the hearts of all the men that see her, she's also incredibly intelligent and witty and quick and independent. She's a really terrifically well drawn character, and she speaks very much in her own way to everyone that she encounters, whether it's a streetwalker or another gypsy or someone of high standing. She is not to be put back down on her heels. Instead, she just blinds people with how impressively articulate and wise she is. The people that know her, these other gypsies, are constantly impressed with how she acts and speaks well beyond her age. And she's not falling for all of the usual trappings that a teenage girl might fall for. Instead, she um, is just mature and um, dignified young lady who has integrity and goals. Um, the great little plot in the book is that the band of gypsies, Preciosa in tow, are all traveling along, and a man of high standing stops, and we get the great moment of somebody that is just love at first sight, blinded by her beauty, and hops off of his horse and says, "I will do anything for you. I will give up all of my things, and I want to marry you," and has has this great speech where he's just extolling all of his love to this young girl that he just met. And let me see. It's a really great speech. And then Preciosa, hearing this, just straight away responds with this. Although, my dear gentleman, I am a gypsy of humble birth, I cherish deep within me a tendency to dream, which makes me aspire to greater things. Promises do not persuade me, gifts do not break my resolve, gestures of submission do not incite my favor, and my fine declarations of love do not frighten me. Although I am only 15, or I shall be according to my grandmother on St. Michael's Day, I am mature in thought, and I understand more than might be expected from someone so young, through natural intelligence rather than experience. By means of the one or the other, I know that amorous passion in those who have recently fallen in love is like a crazy impulse which renders the will senseless, with the result that, crashing through all obstacles, it hurls itself recklessly after the object of desire, and where it intended to attain the glory it beholds, it plunges itself into the hell of its sorrows. And it goes on, but it's this incredible speech that hits every point that this man is making with all of his proposals, and everybody is stunned. Uh, the man is stunned that he gets such a response. The other gypsies are looking back and forth like, this is a 15-year-old girl is saying this. Myself as the reader is stunned. It's not just saying, look how articulate and intelligent this character is. We're shown by example. We're given these speeches, and they are really well done. Throughout the whole book, every aspect of this book is really well done and well drawn. And she finally says, like, if you want to marry me, you have to give up your status, your rank. You have to wear our clothes, become a gypsy for 2 years, and you can only treat me as if I was your sister. And after those 2 years, if you can live with us and understand our beliefs and cultures, at the end of that time, we can get married. And he agrees. And there's surprises and funny moments that happen, and suspenseful, exciting fights, and getting themselves into pickles and all those kind of things throughout. And then it's basically a romance. So at the end, we start getting these like reveals and surprises. And it's not a spoiler to say that we kind of wrap up into an inexplicably happy ending. And I think the other thing that I was thinking about while reading this is along the same lines of this being written at a time when there is that birth and wealth of imagination in Spain and throughout Europe, and they're coming up with new ways to write things, some novels and short stories. So much of this short story reads like a play, and there's other books that I've read around this time that are novelized versions of plays that don't really work, and this is such a great example of being influenced by the arts around you, reading plays, and making a new form, working in a new form, and using the new form to your advantage to tell a story in a way that you couldn't fully tell within a play. And so that is, how does all of the action happen? How are things described? Having psychological insights that were given as readers, opposed to having everything spoken to. Things like that just make it dizzying by how good it is, and how it's hard for me to describe how original and fresh this short story feels. I have that feeling about everything that I've read by Cervantes. So, um, I liked the book. I liked it. It's The Little Gypsy Girl by Cervantes. This is in Exemplary Stories, my little Oxford. Let me know if you've read it. Let me know if you've read any other short stories by Cervantes. And of course, if you've read Don Quixote, I would love to hear um, how much you've loved how much you love Don Quixote. It's just great. Yeah. So leave a comment if you would like, and thank you for watching. Bye.